I'm always happy to chat with you. And today being day 4 of filming every day for the next 30 days of this, visibility challenge that I'm a part of, I I have to admit that today I had a little bit of trouble thinking about what today's conversation would be. So I just am just gonna let it come to me in real time as we chat together. One of the things that popped into my mind was having to do with limiting beliefs, um, and for the most part, just limitations that have been put on us maybe from childhood, right? Being a child going to school. I know with my experiences in school, there were just a lot of just natural limitations of just being kids. Kids um, kind of develop the rules of what's what in many regards. And it can kind of, it's like you want to look like this, you want to fit in, you want to whatever the case may be, and then it carries on you know from the earliest pre-k, kindergarten, things like that. um Looking at what others have. It could be a toy, it could be a new pair of sneakers, it could be a game or whatever. You want to fit in somehow. It carries all into um to high school, and then after that it carries into college, workforce, things like that, and just life, right? But it when I started to kind of, I guess, reminisce a little bit, I started to think about how honestly afraid I was to express myself, even as a child. So it's like, even if I was expressing myself, I had to really think about, well, how was I going to express myself? And so your expression is kind of limited and confined to fit in, even if it's just to not be made fun of, because the groups around you are doing things a certain way, dressing a certain way, speaking a certain way, hell, even walking a certain way, whatever the case may be. Um, Share certain things about maybe even what people watched on TV. You wanted to make sure that you was able to see. You felt bad if you didn't see it, um, or whatever. So then you couldn't be a part of the conversation to say see it. Um, if you know, you know. We don't. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't think kids have that particular type of problem now. It might be the same type of issue in different ways, but of course, when I was a kid, it's like, okay, you have the people that can afford cable TV versus regular TV. So then they're talking about things that are on cable TV. We didn't have cable TV, like you know. So in thinking about stuff like that, I start to think about the fact that, okay, I've spent many years, especially as a child, growing up in a situation in which I felt like um, I couldn't express myself, because you have this constant fear. And so I said, well, um, that definitely plays a very big role in my personality. Now, mind you, when I got a chance to go to college, even though I carried that same type of limiting belief of feeling like I had to do things in a confined way, or limit myself in my expression, still kind of carried that on um, into college, right? But the difference is that I kind of felt more pushed to express myself through different groups, programs, things like that. I felt the push to go ahead and do some public speaking, go ahead and participate in something. Did a lot of things that I would have never ever done I never would have done if not be because of the opportunity to be in a different environment. And so then that led me to thinking like how great it is to put yourself in a different environment, because you do kind of open up yourself to you open up yourself to new people, you open up yourself to new ideas, you open up yourself to new exercise and activities. And quite frankly, that's what, in being a part of this visibility challenge and doing, YouTube video every single day for the next committing to doing it every day for the next 30 days. I'm in a different, just by joining this group, it's exciting because I'm in an environment with a group of women who are focused on being visible, on creating options for themselves. And so that is now stretching me. It's stretching me in ways that I wasn't stretched last month. If I was already who I am already feeling myself becoming, with every single video that I'm doing this month, I would have been doing this last month. So I'm literally a different person just from putting myself in a different environment and being around people who we are doing the same thing. We're pushing ourselves in the same way. Um, but one of the things that I also start to think about when it came to, kind of, I guess, reminiscing of how, this theme of limiting myself has kind of played out throughout my life. I started to think about the fact that I don't know if I think the idea of declaring what I want, I realized that I have had a lot of limitations even with that. It's like we all know, we all hear about, yes, manifest your wants, your needs, your desires and all that. And I always felt like I was doing that, writing in my journal, sometimes maybe talking to myself, things like that. But I really start to think, but I also was battling, and still in many regards I'm battling some limiting beliefs inside of my head that a lot of us, and you let me know in the comments if you're a part of this group that I'm talking about, we grew up with certain things that we were told not to do. Keep your business to yourself, right? Keep your business to yourself is a big one. Oh, don't tell anybody your business. Don't say what you want to do because, you might even have come from a family that's like with a lot of, religiosity. So you have superstition and then you have some religiosity in there. Oh, if you say it out loud, the devil's going to come and mess up your goals. When um someone is kind of growing up with this, keep it close to the vest, keep it close to your chest, like, oh, don't say nothing, I think that has played a very I understand. I understand why it may be necessary to do these things at certain times, but I do feel like it's had a negative effect on me or impact on me in many regards. Now, mind you, is there a time to share? Yes, I do believe that. I do believe that, for better or worse, that there is a time to share, right? When you're ready to do so, when of course, ready. There are many aspects to even that. We can talk about, well, what actually makes somebody ready? What if you have to do certain things before you're ready? If you sit down and wait until you're ready, that could also be something that holds you back too, right? However, I respect the fact that, there is a timing to things, so to speak, and that there is some time, kind of like you still want to pluck a fruit or eat a fruit when it's ripe, right? So there's a time for things to grow, and I believe that there's a time for you to like hunker down and do what you need to do and allow, things to grow. But I also kind of started to think about, what if I've been too cautious in many regards, too quiet, too too much keep it to yourself superstitious stuff. You know what I mean? That it's not, it then became a situation in which I am not declaring what I want and expressing myself, saying the dreams out loud, saying what I want when I should be doing that. When I should be doing that. What if there are certain people that could be a part of making that dream come true, right? You know, they have the saying, closed mouths don't get fed, right? So it's like, okay, I don't know if I've been doing enough of that. I think there needs to be a balance. I don't know if if it's one thing over the other, like just being totally extreme quiet, you know, extreme don't tell anybody, extreme only trust these people. Like I don't know if there is one or the other with all of that, but I definitely think that should be some type of a balance. And I just think that I'm reaching a point where I'm finally starting to get comfortable with declaring what I want in my life. I want a better life. I am sitting here with you in this conversation in real time, and you know I'm building my life out in real time. I am I'm declaring that it's not too late. I want to build a community of women who refuse to believe that it's not too late for them, that it's not too late for them. That's what I want. Men are welcome too, but just know that you have to be an ally of the women. That's what I'm saying. You can come in, but just know who's the focal point. That's all I'm saying. Just know who's the focal point. It's okay if you could be a strong ally, that's fine. But I want to build a community of people, okay, that have the spirit inside of them, that know that, and that believe it's, you know, they refuse to believe that it's not too late. They believe that there's still a lot of life left inside of them to live, to grow, to experience things, okay? and and that is something that I am doing right now with you, and whoever else wants to come along, because I just realized that that's what I want to be surrounded by. I want to be surrounded by people who are truly, truly, truly saying, even if they're not there yet, right? It's not about being ready, right? Because like I said, we should actually have a conversation about that one day. Like, what is ready? What's ready, right? And the different variations of how ready can hold us back. Just that whole idea right there, right? But for the most part, I think it's important for me to start doing that more. So um, I say, hey, it's a great time to start with you in our conversation, you know. So yeah, what am I declaring? I'm declaring that the next season of my life is going to be filled and surrounded with what I said to you before, with people, with women specifically, that are going to refuse to believe that it is too late for them to do something in their lives that they've never done before, that they're excited about, that is just has them jumping out of their skin with excitement to get up and do every day, whether that is traveling, finding different avenues of making money. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I don't want to feel limited anymore. I don't want that. That is literally how I felt most of my childhood and even into young adult years. Just like limited um in being able to be myself, you know, in being able to be myself. And I'm not saying it like, oh my gosh, I never had any fun as a child or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying I do feel like this world has embraced um, being more expressive now than in the past. I do. I do. And I think it's a great thing, and I think it's something that I want to make sure that I am taking advantage of as well. Um, we don't have to think the way that we used to think. We don't have to believe in all the things that we used to believe in. We don't have to limit ourselves to one way of thinking anymore. And I think that that is a good thing. That is a good thing. And so, yeah, that's really just what kind of popped in my mind today as I was sitting down thinking like, what could we talk about today? What could we chat about today? So let me know in the comments. Number one, how you doing? And number two, like, do you have or have you ever had a dream that you've been afraid to say out loud because you're afraid of judgment or you're afraid of whatever, no, we've heard it all. Oh, nobody in my family's done that. I don't know anybody that's done that. Okay, so just because you don't know anybody that's done that doesn't mean that you can't do it. You know what I mean? A lot of the things that I've done um in my life, I'm the first person to do it. I'm the first person to do it in my family. Sometimes you don't even know what you might be interested in because you've never really even been exposed to thinking about what you could do. It's amazing, like I said, when you put yourself around different groups of people, different environments, you'll be amazed at what will open you up, um, and to things that you probably never thought that you would ever even think about doing. So and that's one of the things I will always love about, getting to know different people, getting to know, um, getting to know people in different cultures from traveling or what have you. I think it's just beautiful. So it gets you out of, it's a great way to start unlimiting. Is it unlimiting, delimiting, whatever? Not limiting yourself anymore and knowing that you don't have to see things the way you're used to seeing them. Yep. And if there's someone around you that's, oh, what you doing? Why you doing that? Whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever. They can listen. And here's the thing that I also realized, mind you, I was thinking about this, that Thursdays could be called throwback Thursdays when I think about something in my life that I, and it just popped in my head, something I can share. So I mentioned in my previous videos um, that I had gone to Italy when I was 21 years old as a part of a program with my school that I competed for. And but how it came about, I was literally the person that I'm talking about right now. Like when I say, oh, you could mention a goal or mention a dream and have a naysayer. Literally, I could have been seen as a naysayer. I technically was out of my own ignorance. So what happens is that my best friend at the time that I grew up with, childhood best friend, she's in college where she is, and I'm in college states away. And she called me up one day and she said, oh, there's a program at her school that she gets to travel throughout Italy with a class, like in a group for 2 months. And she was like, oh, she signed up for that class. And so and I was excited for her. I was excited for her, but my initial reaction was very ignorant. It was very ignorant. So, you know what I'm saying? 19, 20 years old. And she said, oh, we're going to go to Italy. And I said, why'd you choose to go to Italy? Like, why you want to go to Italy? Don't you already know? I'm like, we're from New York. Don't you, we already know about Italy, pizza and pasta. Very ignorant, right? Very ignorant. So that was my initial reaction. But immediately after I said that, it was like a light bulb went off in my head. And I said, I think that my school has a program where, it encourages students to travel. And I literally said, oh, what if we were in Italy at the same time? What if we were both in Italy at the same time? that was it. It was a split second right after I made the ignorant comment to my best friend, okay, at the time. And then the light bulb went off, and I was like, oh, shoot, that would be awesome if we could both be there at the same time, right? And I said, I'm going to apply. It wasn't a short thing for me. Like, for her, she had a program that's set with the teachers and the students to sign up for. But mine wasn't a short thing, but there was something inside me at that moment that said, hmm, wouldn't that be cool? That would be the adventure of a lifetime if we could do that at the same time. And of course, it would be different for me than it was for her because I'm traveling by myself and I have to plan every step of the way myself versus hers was a set schedule with a group of people and stuff like that. But nevertheless, just the idea that we'd be doing this at the same time, I just loved it. And I applied, and lo and behold, I got it. And it was one of the first times that I'd ever, you could say, won something, right? I got it, and we did it. We did it in June of, well, I won't say the year now. Hold on, because I'm young and juicy, and I ain't gonna be out here just, yeah. Hold on, I'll tell you my age another time. But it's a long time ago. Okay, it was a long time ago. But at the same time, we went in June of that year, and we did get to meet up. And I specifically planned it out, that we would meet up at a specific time. We met up in Palermo, Sicily. Um, so yeah, and I traveled all the way down from Florence by myself to meet her and her classmates and teachers down there at that time. And we did it. We did it. You know what I'm saying? And we both had different paths or whatever, but we did it. And so I will always think about that because I said, wow, yes, I had an initial very ignorant comment, but right after that, got the flash of inspiration. And that experience, it changed my life. That experience changed my life, um, in many ways. It showed me what I'm made of. Doing that by myself was scary, you know, and but Play showed me that I'm very diligent. I planned everything out to the T. Like I said, I was not traveling with a cell phone, so it's not like I could look things up, and there's no GPS on the phones at that time either. So it's not like you could look up something and find your way. No, I had to literally get on the like desktop computer, print things out, call places up. That means get a calling card, pay money, get a calling card, call things places up overseas, make the reservations, do whatever I need to do, all along the way before I left, and so my point is sometimes we can be the naysayer. Okay, put in the comments if you're gonna tell the truth and say when you've been a naysayer to somebody, and you know what I mean. We can be both things, both encouraging and naysayers, even if it's coming out of good intentions or just plain old ignorance. But I'm glad that I didn't just have that phone conversation with her, make that comment, not think about how I could, maybe stretch myself in that way. But her calling me, sharing that with me, that stretched me just the phone call in and of itself. Just her telling me about what she was trying to do opened up my mind like, well, what could I do? Oh, what does my college have? Oh, wow, I never thought about doing this before, but now I am. So I'm telling you, it's like even when you're the naysayer, like I did do, um, in that moment, you can still flip it around and stretch yourself if you allow it to. If you allow it to, you can turn it around, end up stretching yourself, and having an adventure of a lifetime. And I've gone on to have many other adventures of a lifetime, that have come out of quick flashes of inspiration, quick phone conversations, that just made me say, maybe that's all it takes sometimes. Hmm. wonder what that's like, and then do some research, and there you go. Next thing you know, I'm in South Korea for 2 years. It happened. Okay, another great experience that stretched my life. So, anyways, this was a little bit of a meandering chit chat, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you listening. Stay young and juicy. I've been saying that phrase for years. I don't believe in old. Let's talk about that one day, because there's a lot of people. So within this group of women that I'm manifest, my community that I'm manifesting, you can't be a part of the community if you ever open up your mouth and talk about you're old. I don't do all of that. So you have to make sure that you are somebody who is willing to stay young and juicy, young and juicy. And yes, I've been saying that for years. Actually, I should coin it. If I hear somebody else saying young and juicy, I know you stole it from me, because you can ask anybody that knows me. I've been saying that for over decades now. Young and juicy is the only mindset to have. And calling yourself old, I don't believe in any of that. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how old you are, I don't care how much wrinkles you have. No, you are young and juicy. And that's what you should declare, because once people start declaring that they're old, that's when you start breaking down, because whatever's in your mind about what old is, you become it, right? So I'm not manifesting that. I don't have a problem not manifesting that. I manifest young and juicy. So, anyways, you let me know in the comments, if you've ever had a dream that you've been afraid to say. And also let me know if maybe you're not afraid to do it anymore. Are you ready to start manifesting your life? Are you ready to start declaring the things that you want out loud? Are you ready to maybe put some of those old time superstitions to the side that your mama and your grandmama and whoever auntie told you, and say, you know what? I know there's a time to plant the seed, do the thing quietly. We respect that. I respect that. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be that. However, I do believe that there should be a balance to, you're working on it, and then get ready to, you should be having a time to declare it too. And that's the season I'm in. I'm doing it in real time with you, and join me as you declare what you want for your life, because I know I want better. I want better. I want whatever that better is. Okay? I want whatever that better is. I visited Dubai. If let me know in the comments if you've ever been to Dubai, and if you've ever been to the Aura Sky Pool. AURA Sky Pool. I'm declaring that I will be back there next year, and I will be talking to you from the Aura Sky Pool, showing you around on the camera while I'm sitting down and relaxing. I will be talking to you from the Aura Sky Pool. That is one of my goals. Okay? I'll be coaching a group of women from the Aura Sky Pool. Okay? And then maybe we'll have a meetup there together. Okay? And we'll have a meetup there together, and enjoying our lives, understanding that we don't need to have any more limitations in our finances. We don't need to have any more scarcity mindset for what we think we can do. And yes, we will be paid to be ourselves. Hello, we will be paid to be ourselves. All right, that felt good. So let me know in the comments, how do you feel about today's conversation as well? Okay. And like I mentioned in my other videos, check out my what type of maker are you? What's your maker archetype quiz? Check out that quiz. Maybe that'll help you, guide you into some type of creative craft that you might be interested in, creating an option through artistic means. As I mentioned before, I started my candle business. I make all the candles and the room sprays myself. Um, Maybe you're interested in that type of option for yourself as an additional business, side hustle, whatever. Take the quiz. Take the quiz. Anyways, love chatting with you today. Thank you so much. Wasn't sure what we were going to talk about, but I loved it. I always love chatting with you guys. So, and this visibility challenge has really showed me that I do enjoy this. I do enjoy, right now I'm very tired. It's very late, but I said, no, I've got to do this. I've got to come on and chit chat with my people because I'm still out there finding my people. Um, the people who refuse to believe that it's too late to achieve their dreams. You're out there. So join me as I know that it's not too late for me. So it can't be too late for you. All right. Talk to you later.